everyone, I'm Dr. Konstantin. I'm a facial rejuvenation expert, and since Botox is one of the major ways we do facial rejuvenation, we're gonna talk about Botox today. Very important question that I hear a lot from men. How is Botox for men different than Botox for women? And a lot of us don't want to look more feminine, and some people do, which is perfect, but many men don't want to feminize their faces, and they think, well, if my wife does Botox and she looks very feminine, and what happens if I do Botox? Am I gonna look the same way? And of course, this is not the case. There are three very important differences in how we do Botox for men as opposed to women. So let's start with the first one, and this is probably the most important one. With men, some wrinkles are okay and even have to be there. So if a man, I tell everybody, if a man is over 50, you just cannot have a baby smooth forehead. It's gonna look unnatural. For women, it's completely different. The way we perceive women's face is different than when we look at the men. For a woman, smooth forehead, perfectly fine. For men after 50, it just looks odd. And this is incidentally the reason why I'm not getting rid of all my wrinkles in the forehead, because I don't want people to look at me and say, oh, somehow he looks a little strange, right? So with men, we like to get rid of deep lines. We like to soften them up. We like to make sure that those lines are not more permanent, but at the same time, we don't want to get rid of them completely, or at least not of all of them completely. Number two, we have to be very mindful of the fact that the shape of the brows is different for men than for a woman. And this is something that people sometimes make a mistake when they inject Botox exactly the same way on everybody. They change the shape of the brows. So instead of a lower position brow, which is very typical for a man, and the brow that is straight, they curve the brow up and they lift it. So man's brow all of a sudden look like a woman's brow, and this is not exactly what most people would want to have. And the last one, which is number three, I would say with men, it's frown lines, frown lines, frown lines. So you do more Botox in frown lines and less Botox everywhere else. So frown lines typically for men, they're much deeper, the muscles are much stronger. So getting rid of those is very helpful in making the face look just friendly, open, youthful, rejuvenated. So all of those good adjectives that we want to hear about ourselves. At the same time, other lines we just want to be careful with. First, the brows, like we said, or the forehead. We want to have some lines there, maybe not necessarily get rid of them completely unless it's somebody under 40. The lines around the eyes also are quite important for men, and getting rid of them completely might actually change the smile, and sometimes the eyes start looking odd when somebody smiles, but the eyes are just not changing their shape. It's especially visible for men. Women sometimes can get away with that. So those were the three differences in how we do Botox for men as opposed to doing it for a woman. And that's why when you have those deep lines around your forehead and you want to get rid of them, you really should not be concerned about feminizing your face, as long as you go to a doctor or a plastic surgeon who is very familiar with those differences and know exactly how to do it for you. Your face is going to appear masculine, but at the same time, you will get rid of those deep lines that just age you.